Like and subscribe right now, or the spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Just because we can see doesn't mean that everything was meant to be seen. But because we're curious little creatures, we find ourselves seeing these things. From mermaids to lawn bubbles, here are things humans were never meant to see. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. Number 1. Mermaid. Is that a mermaid? Ever since Disney aired The Little Mermaid, we've all had our doubts about whether they truly exist. Many movies have been made regarding that, and now we don't know what to believe anymore. If they do exist, then we expect them to be beautiful creatures with long hair. But what if they're not? And what if it's just a fantasy replayed in our minds? Yet this video contradicts our beliefs in every way. The way it turns and looks at them before quickly diving into the water gives me the chills. It's definitely a mermaid. Number 2. Double rainbow. Whoa! A double rainbow! You don't get to see those every day, or ever, for a matter of fact. The way he exclaims joy in his voice gives me goosebumps, making me smile all the way. Is it a good luck charm or something like that? Because if it is, then I don't care if I'm seeing it from his point of view. I consider myself lucky. A double rainbow is double luck. Number 3. Ocean snowfall. Does it snow in the middle of the ocean? Well, now you have your question answered. Though it's relatively rare, it does snow in the ocean, and these pictures serve as solemn evidence. Ocean snowfall happens much further toward the poles than on land, since it tends to be warmer over the ocean. So you have to be on a cruise ship to experience ocean snowfall. Number 4. Burning sea. Okay, first of all, how in the world did this happen, and is it possible for the sea to burn? Working as a firefighter can be boring until you get called to put out a fire in the ocean. How many times in your life have you heard someone say, "The ocean caught fire"? Imagine pumping water onto a fire that's practically in the ocean. Whether or not we believe it, it did happen, and it was caused by a leak in the undersea gas pipeline. The firefighters had to pump water for nearly 5 hours until it was extinguished. After that, I believe I've seen everything. Number 5. The world's fastest turtle. Finally, we found it! This turtle probably wanted to clarify some things before it went into hiding again. I bet that little maneuver has decreased the turtle's lifespan by 3 years. Number 6. Balled up armadillo. When danger strikes, what do? You hide in your armor. That's what an armadillo does when it senses danger. It's rare to see them pull this stunt just anywhere, making this video outstanding. Number 7. River meets ocean. When a river meets an ocean, you'd expect them to mix, right? Well, that's not the case. This is where the river water from the Fraser River meets the ocean water of the Strait of Georgia. It creates a boundary line where the water doesn't mix. According to science, when two different bodies of water meet, there's a barrier between them. This barrier creates a noticeable line, as each body of water has its own temperature, salinity, and density. Cool, right? Number 8. Edge of rain. Have you ever stood in a situation where it's raining in one area while the other is completely dry? Well, I'm here to inform you that it's a natural thing that occurs mainly due to the constant change in weather conditions. It mainly happens when the clouds in an area don't clump up to form a single weather front, and hence an individual cloud is formed. This cloud falls as individual raindrop, leaving one side dry and the other side wet. If you get lucky enough to experience it, make sure you jump in and out of the rainfall, and while at it, don't forget to record the video. Number 9. Underwater eruption. This is the most powerful eruption ever recorded. The Hunga-Ha'apai volcano erupted under the sea, rocking the South Pacific nation and sending tsunamis racing around the world. The blast was so loud that you could feel the shock wave through your body. It even sent a plume of debris more than 50 kilometers into the atmosphere. It's scary how powerful nature can be. Number 10. UFO over Memphis. If you were seeing multiple lights in the sky, you'd probably react similarly. It's unclear what we're seeing here, but they don't appear to be planes. It's probably aliens looking for somewhere to land. It's not the first time we've seen unidentified objects in the sky. It looks like soon enough, they'll come in a mass and share the planet with us. Number 11. Bioluminescent beach. You might have seen it already or even heard of it. It's the most beautiful natural phenomenon that leaves you wishing you could quit your job and look for a beach house, where you could see this anytime you wanted. The bioluminescent creatures, typically planktons and jellyfish, light up like fireflies when moved, producing an electric blue glow. By doing this, these people have added a couple of years to their lives. Number 12. Skeleton flowers. I bet you've never seen or heard of the skeleton flower in your life. Let me keep you up to date. The skeleton flower is the chameleon of the woods. As you might have guessed, it's not an ordinary flower. When it rains, the petals of a skeleton flower turn from being opaque white to almost transparent. It looks like a spindly ice sculpture when saturated, but once it stops raining, the flower reverts back to its original state. Amazing, right? Number 13. Walking ladder. Imagine taking a stroll in the morning, and then you meet a stepladder on its way to wherever. The first thing you'll probably do is stay still and wait to see what's next, then run for your life. It's not an ordinary thing. It's crazy how the dog seems so chilled out. I was expecting it to bark or something. Number 14. White giraffe. Have you ever looked at something and been totally awed to an extent and just sat there and gazed at it because it gives you joy? If you haven't, worry not, because you'll gaze at this white giraffe until you're tired. Just look at these giraffes. How spectacular! They're the only white giraffes remaining in the world. They have a rare genetic condition called leucism, which causes the loss of skin pigmentation. Unfortunately, their skin color makes them vulnerable to poachers. We hope nothing bad happens to them. Number 15. Flying human. If you could have one power, what would it be? I would have said flying, but it looks like humans are making it possible, so I'll go with being invisible. This clip shows a group of people flying over Kudu Island in the Maldives. To participate in this, you need to be a daredevil that's not afraid of heights. Number 16. Lazy seagull. Imagine minding your business on your balcony only to look up and see this. Funny, right? It's not every day that you'd get to see a seagull giving another seagull a lift, do you? If you were having a bad day and saw this, there's no doubt that it would lift your spirits. Number 17. Square waves. Now, this is one of the things that makes me scared of the ocean. You never know what's dangerous and what's not. The square waves, for example, are in the 10% discovered part of the ocean. You can imagine what lies in the other 90%. So, what are square waves? These are waves that occur when different waves from different weather systems meet at right angles. They form unique-looking waves that resemble a chessboard in the water. This phenomenon is rare, and you can view it on the island located off the coast of La Rochelle. They may look pretty to watch, but don't let them fool you into going inside the water. You'll thank me later. Number 18. Turtle's throat. Ever peeked inside the throat of a turtle? It looks like something out of a horror film. This is one of those stomach-churning videos we never want to watch, but still watch anyway, because why not? The clip shows the esophagus, which is filled with seemingly endless small spikes that look like teeth. The small spikes are called papillae, and they act as a sieve to stop food from exiting the water. It's hard to imagine that such an innocent-looking creature could have a terrifying throat like that. Number 19. Clam in the sand. Have you ever been so fascinated and disgusted at the same time? That's probably how this clip will make you feel. I bet you weren't prepared to see it ooze sand. I'm surprised at how some people find it tasty enough to eat. After watching this, trust me, you'll never look at clams the same way you did before. Number 20. Lawn bubble. Who hasn't had the urge to pop a blister or any angry zit? If you haven't, then you're missing out on all the fun. Lawn bubbles are like blisters on your lawn. I don't know how they came to be, but they do exist, and they're fun to look at, and more fun to pop. You know, like popping those packing bubbles we love so much. Most lawn bubbles form after heavy rains. It's just a lawn filled with water, like a pimple. The urge to burst a lawn bubble when you see one is always there. Crazy enough, it's what you ought to do when you find a lawn bubble in your garden. You just need to be careful when handling them, as some have a chance of turning into sinkholes. Until next time, adios.